What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got another good one for you guys. We are going to be going over the performance and performance supporting modifications that have been made to the Excelsior Z33. You guys are going to like this one. Stay tuned. Let's get right into it. So here Xylus is in the cave. This is the garage that this whole car has been built in over the last 7 years. Even before I started the Excelsior project, I finalized the version 1 of my kit in this very same garage, and then all the way through the Excelsior body kit process, this is the garage that he was built in. So if you guys have been following me for a long time, you'll know this is the digs I have been in since 2018, and so this is where the magic is happening. Looking so good in there under that garage lighting. It's not the most pretty garage in the world by a long shot, but even still, looking absolutely fire under the simple garage light setup that I have going on here. I am planning on moving pretty soon, maybe next year, first part of next year, and I'm gonna have a much more substantial garage setup than this, with much better lighting, better flooring, and all that. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be really cool, but still looking great even with this simple setup that we have going here. That light coming down on the sterling green paint, looking absolutely insane. I do apologize, the car is a little dirty, a little dusty right now. Hasn't had a wash or even a wipe down in a couple of weeks, so you are going to see a little layer of dust over the car, but still looking really nice. Now, as much as I care about how good the car looks, no true car enthusiast could just settle for good looks alone. And of course, you know, we had to bump up the performance of the Excelsior Z33. If you're gonna make a car that looks this aggressive and this quick standing still, you can't just leave it stock. You don't want to be the guy leaving the car meet or the car show with a car looking like this that is just putting along and not making any real noise. Didn't want to be that guy. So of course, believe me, I have known since the very beginning, since I got into cars as a little kid back during Gran Turismo and PlayStation 1 era, that performance is just as important as the looks of the car, if not more so to a lot of people. Now, as an artist, obviously the looks of the car came first for me, but performance was always on the list. And so now that we have the artistry taken care of course it was time to take care of the performance aspect as well. So let's get right into what's going on with this Z. Let's open this bad boy up and get the obvious out of the way first off. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, you will have noted the giant intercooler that is now sitting in the front bumper, and that is because we are now boosted in the Z. This was my #1 priority as it pertained to the performance aspect of this car, as I always had a dream to go boost, and we finally did it. So, came to the decision to go single turbo kit on this. I went back and forth between supercharging and turbo. Should I do a twin turbo setup? Should I do rear mount, mid mount? It took me a while to really settle on what I wanted to do, but in the end, I just could not resist the urge to go big single top mount turbo on this thing for a variety of reasons. #1, the most obvious, of course, is when you open this hood, bam, it's right there in your face. You're gonna see that thing right when you open the hood, and it's a sizable turbo in here. Now, this is the single turbo kit for the VQ35 HR by SOHO Motorsports. It is by far the best, highest quality, all around best performing turbo setup, single turbo setup that is, that you can get for this car. That's my opinion, but I did a lot of research on these cars about the boost setups that you can do on them, and SOHO Motorsports has a tried and true track history for quality and performance overall, and I just couldn't resist the urge to go SOHO single top mount. And if we look at the engine bay, look at how tidy. Look how beautiful this is. That's the SOHO signature. They don't just make the kit to perform. They put so much R&D, so much development time into making sure that not only does it perform good, of course, but that it looks nearly factory. If somebody didn't tell you that this was an aftermarket setup looking under here, I mean, if you know what you're looking at, obviously you're gonna know, but from the average person's perspective, if they were to look under this engine bay and see how tidy and tucked everything is, they would almost think that this is factory. And the crazy thing is that it looks like that underneath the car too. Unfortunately, I don't have a lift or any means to get up under the car right at the moment, or I would show you guys, but underneath, the way that the piping and everything was designed and structured, the wastegates and everything, it's just absolutely gorgeous the way that they designed this kit. By far the best looking, aesthetically pleasing turbo setup in my opinion. Now yes, I know there are some rear turbo setups that look really gnarly. Rat Rod Colt Stonecipher comes to mind on his Black Z that he has that custom twin turbo rear setup. Looks absolutely insane, kind of a Lamborghini type of deal. But for me, man, I'm just too old school. I love that old JDM vibe where you open the hood and you see that fat turbo sitting there. Couldn't resist it, and so that's what we ended up going with. I will note that the coolant reservoir tank has been replaced by the SOHO reservoir / oil catch combo, which is not a part of the turbo kit that they provide, but it is an optional thing that you can also add to it, and I think it is just so very complimentary to it. Adds a nice menacing look under here, but not so menacing that it doesn't look like it couldn't be factory. And while you may not be able to see it in the current lighting conditions, the car is also running the complete SOHO HR headers as well, which make the car sound absolutely insane. Believe me, I'll give you guys a little cold start here in just a moment, but I'll list off what this kit contains in it and what is optional. And first of all, the turbo is a Garrett's, a GTX 3582R tile housing. We have 1050cc injectors in here. We have the SOHO intercooler underneath. Beautiful intercooler, a little bit of a different design than what you may be used to. Most of them are usually pretty square, whereas the SOHO one has that kind of upward angle, which, you know, to me is unique. It kind of gives the car a look like it's grinning, which is kind of cool, like a little sly smile. I'm down with it. While you can't see it, the intercooler is mounted to a specialty SOHO custom bash bar that comes with the kit. The kit also includes solid engine mounts from SOHO as well. You've got stainless steel hot side piping, aluminum cold side piping. You have Hypergate wastegates, 40mm wastegates, race port blow-off valve right under there. I've also cut out the bumper so that it doesn't overcrowd the blow-up valve and you can have a nice sound with the turbo. Oil pan came with a spacer kit as well. We have K&N filter, of course. We have coolant and oil lines with AN fittings. Power steering relocation kit, so you can see our power steering was relocated over to that side of the car. And then, of course, like I said, we have the headers in there and the oil catch coolant reservoir combo. It is a combination that is absolutely killer on this car and really brings out the absolute best in the Z33 platform. For exhaust, those headers are going all the way back to a Tomei muffler in the back. Insane sound, as you guys will hear again in just a moment. Give you guys a nice cold start. All I can say at the moment is this is the best this car has ever sounded in the entire history of owning this car. Now with all that added power, of course, you can't just do all that without adding a few more extra supporting modifications to suspension, to transmission, stuff like that. So we have gone with a stage 2 clutch from ACT, stage 2 clutch and flywheel combo. We have the Z-Speed CSC elimination, so the slave cylinder elimination kit that we put in here. We did a Z1 aluminum drive shaft on it, much better than that carbon composite one. It's gonna last forever, it'll never break. We have a Z1 diff cover, which looks gnarly. Let me get under the car and show you guys. There she is, and you can see we have a nice diff brace as well. That's by ISR. There's our Tomei muffler there, looking absolutely fire. And we have, of course, Cusco bracing and stuff. That was actually on the car prior to doing the big upgrade on it, but very good supporting braces. I've got a lot of Cusco on this car. All of the suspension, the braces are by Cusco on this car. Also have the Cusco cage inside the car, very nice. We also went ahead and did the 370Z axle and hub conversion on this, so we replaced the 350Z units for the 370 ones, which are much stronger. They're the same exact dimension and everything, so it didn't affect my track width or anything like that, but it just increased the strength of my axles and hubs in the back of the car. We're also running a bevy of SPL arms where available. Of course, the car is on airlift suspension, which replaces the factory spring setup, although it does maintain the old spring buckets, so I'm not able to replace a lot of the arms under there. They're still necessary to keep with the airlift suspension, but I have SPL arms on everything else that can be replaced for the 350Z. In the front, I'm actually going to stick this little camera in this duct right here. You can see our gold EM USA lower control arms. I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but up top here we have the Voodoo 13 upper control arms as well, which if you go back on this channel about 7-8 years, you'll actually see an installation video where I installed those Voodoo 13 arms, and they are still fantastic to this day. I have no need to swap those out. They still work amazingly. Back up here in the engine bay, you can see probably one of the other easiest upgrades to make, but one of the most important is we've also now have a lithium-ion battery by Anti-Gravity Batteries. This battery is by far the best battery I've ever had in any of my cars, because not only is it just extremely powerful, but it has a built-in jump starting feature. So if the car ever dies or I come back out to it and for whatever reason I have no power, the car doesn't turn over, I can actually hit a button right on the top of that battery, which is going to send a surge into the battery and allow me to fire it back up, where I'll then be able to drive the car for 20-30 minutes to charge the battery back up and then put it on a trickle charger. That is an absolute game changer and a lifesaver if it ever comes down to it. I don't know about you guys, but there has been many times when, for whatever reason or other, my battery goes dead and I come back out here and I have no power. And then I gotta wait for 30 minutes to an hour to get the thing charged. It's just a hassle. But with an anti-gravity battery, not a problem. Now, talking about the engine itself, it is running stock internals. So we have the VQ35HR stock internals, which by themselves are very strong. If you don't plan on running anything north of 500-600 horsepower, then you're perfectly fine on stock internals. And for this car, it was never my goal to go crazy power. All I really wanted was somewhere 450 to 550, 600 range at the top end, and that is what we are achieving right now. I haven't had the car on the dyno just yet. I do plan on doing that at some point. It's not a priority at the moment, but right now it is estimated with the current setup and with the headers, the exhaust setup and everything that we have right now, we're estimated somewhere between 450 and 500 right now, which is more than enough for what I'm going for, especially considering that I am not going to be driving this car fast, at least right now, because this is still the prototype version of this body kit and I have to be very careful with it. So I have no need to be going crazy, but I still wanted the turbo because that is my goal in the future. Well, not going crazy, but it is my goal to pump up the boost a little bit. Right now we're only running about 7 pounds, so it's more than enough for me to get going where I need to as fast as I want to go without going too crazy, and it makes all the sounds and all the noises that I want it to make. But while I didn't build any of the internals of this engine, I did go over the entire engine and refresh the entire thing. So if you guys know anything about VQ engines, you will know that one of the first things and most important things that you want to watch out for on these is the gallery gaskets. And so I made it an absolute point to have the gallery gasket replaced, and at the same time we did new water pump. We made sure everything on the inside was all clean. There wasn't any metal shavings or anything going on with the oil. I basically took this car out to Sac City Auto, where I am local here in Sacramento, and they pulled the whole engine out of the car and they went over the whole thing, every single nut and bolt, pulled it all apart and refreshed the entire engine. Now there's only about 110,000 miles on this 2007 engine, and it is healthy as can be. So I didn't want to be that guy that just boosts the car, puts a whole bunch of new power in it without addressing a lot of the other supporting issues. I wanted to make sure that the car was super healthy, that it had enough bracing, enough stuff going on in the rear end, that the hubs, the tire and wheel setup was all good and decent. I changed all the bushings. Again, as I had mentioned, the SOHO Turbo Kit came with new mounts, new engine mounts and everything. So I wanted to make sure that everything was stiff and solid and could handle this new power that was being introduced to the chassis. And I can't stress enough how important that is, guys. If you're going to be adding a lot of power, a lot of performance modifications to the car, engine-wise at least, you want to make sure that you're going the extra mile throughout the whole car. Don't just put a whole bunch of new power and upgrades without considering your suspension, your braking, which is another big one. We're running the R1 Concepts big brake kit in the front and the rear, so I definitely have sufficient braking power to handle it. But yeah, make sure you're crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's. Above all, of course, you want your car to be safe, not only for you, but for the people around you as you're driving. Okay, now inside the car, if you watched my interior video that I put up not too long ago, I've already covered this a little bit, but It does pertain to this because it is performance related. We put the CoolerWorks short shifter system in here, which is a complete game changer. It feels so good, guys. You would not believe how much the shifter can change the whole driving experience. And while we're here, here's another good look at the Cusco cage, 6-point cage that has been powder coated, beautiful plate gold, and the nice K harness bar setup that we have in the back with the fire extinguisher and the whole setup. Good safety mods. All right, and now for the part that you guys have all been waiting for. Give you guys a nice little cold start of what this insane setup sounds like. When I tell you it changes the game completely, I am not kidding, okay? You do the SOHO single top mount turbo kit with the SOHO headers and a Tome exhaust, bro, this is what the VQ is supposed to sound like, all right? You're gonna hear a lot of people saying it sounds like a trumpet, normally that is, but with this setup, nobody is going to give you a bad time. Check this out. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little soundgasm. I certainly did. You know, if you're like me, having a turbo is not always just about big power. It is equally as much about just the overall driving experience. Not only is it gonna make you faster, but the sounds that are gonna come out of the car after it's boosted are just game changing in my opinion. And I'm not gonna lie, that is one of the huge reasons why I wanted to go boost so bad. Of course I want the power, I want the extra power. It feels great driving with it. But man, the sounds, it just changes so much and it makes you enjoy the driving experience. And I mean, at the end of the day, what's it all about, right? If you're not enjoying the car or you're not enjoying it as much as you could be, there's always more you can do. And for me, for this car, it was single top mount turbo with SOHO Motorsports. I really cannot recommend this kit enough to you guys. If you have one of these Z33s, this is an HR, but they make stuff also for the previous models as well, and the DEs. But if you have one of these cars, man, SOHO makes a top tier product for your boosting needs. Whether you want to go turbo like I did, they also have supercharger options if you guys are more on the supercharger side of things. They have that as well. But really, it's the build quality, it's the attention to detail that they put into the kits that really is second to none in my experience. And I've seen a lot of boost setups in these cars, and again, like I was mentioning earlier in the video, I went back and forth on a lot of them, and really, I always came back to SOHO. It's not just the good power that you get with their kit, but it's the tidiness of it, it's the way it was engineered, the way it's designed to fit in the engine bay. The whole all-around package is just absolutely amazing. So I can't recommend SOHO enough. If you're going boost or you want to go boost and you don't know where to go, give SOHO a shout, let them know what you're working with, and they will help you out for sure. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm sorry I didn't get the car out to do any flybys or anything like that. I am going to end up doing that on this channel for sure, so you guys are going to hear the car more than just sitting in the garage here, because it just sounds so good. Like, it would be a horrible thing if I never recorded what this car actually sounds like driving for you guys. So I plan on getting the whole mic set up and actually taking it out and driving it around for you guys so you can hear it at wide open throttle and all that. It is just insane. I can say that a billion times and you're never going to really understand how much this changes the driving experience. So as much as I loved my Z before and I've loved it since I bought it, how much I love it now is like on a whole nother level. I feel like finally it has reached its final form, to use a Dragon Ball term. You know, it is maybe not fully, but nearly the maximum potential has been reached on this car, and I'm enjoying it so much. So I really hope that you guys can experience that as well in your cars. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. God bless.